not saying we know everything. We're just coming to share our experiences of what's become true to us. And what's really uncomfortable is that for me is that I think most people could look at it and say that's entirely insane. Um, you know, but the more I've shared my experiences, the more I've found people that have had similar experiences, and then community is born in a new way because we have like-hearted experiences. So as scary as it is, we're gonna have breakthrough.
I'm like feeling into the number of fears. I'm trying to kind of sort them in my mind and name them in order. Um, Something that I whether I'm teaching a class or writing or running retreats or women's circles that I've done for like 10 years before, I always am working through layers of one, I have so much to share and there's not enough time.
Always
Um,
the way.
right. And part of that is my younger one really wanting to be seen and heard and appreciated and valued. Um, and liked. She really wants to be liked. She really likes being liked. And then um and then another layer for me is nervous system and somatics. I find sometimes in like the personal development, spiritual world can almost seem kind of dry and boring because it is when our nervous systems are oriented towards intensity and like big breakthroughs and biohacking and big spiritual experiences. And we end up recapitulating our trauma and we stay away from this work that is actually like it's like the how to embody your spiritual practice. Um, and so there's a part of me that's like afraid of being dry or like, because I'm gonna offer um like it's like 101, it's basics, it's foundational, we're gonna learn some maps, some language and understanding of how we work, and then do a couple of practices. And most of the time people when they learn this stuff, they're like, oh my God, why didn't we learn this in school? Why am I just learning this now as an adult? Every single person says this. How do I learn more? So it's always like this missing puzzle piece for most people. And there's a part of me that's like, why can't I be teaching like sacred sexuality and these like beautiful big things? And I'm like, no, actually, let's come back again and again and again to meeting what's in here and meeting what's in here and meeting what's in here. And there's a part of my inner child that's like, that's not big enough. That's not exciting enough. People aren't going to care about that. People want the other stuff. So, anyways, those are some layers. There's probably 100 more.
So number one is I had to learn to surrender. That's the key that brought me around to the reality of working with the Love of Miracles triangle that I developed, and um, it has made a great difference in my life, and I've made differences in other people's lives with it. And there is always that you keep on learning, and that is what seems to come. It come very slow, but a whole lot more is coming faster now than what it did before. And I thoroughly enjoy watching people's faces change. It is it is rewarding to see people's faces change. So, and it is for everybody. It It's what I put together, but it's the universal energy. It's not mine. Because I wouldn't have been given it if it wasn't to be. And where this spirit come to give it to me, I'm lost with that one, but it was persistent, very persistent. And so love is what it's about. Amen.
Amazing. Thank you. For myself, what am I afraid of? I don't specifically have fears. But I can say that 2 weeks ago, I got out of a 3-week super low that saw me almost pull out of the show entirely, and say that I wasn't capable, competent, qualified, imposter syndrome, all of that, because I haven't ever run a camp before. And Camp Authenticity is where we authentically can say, I was afraid and I worked through my stuff. And I don't feel the fear because now I'm in the here and now and ready to do this and create the experience because I worked through my own stuff to be able to be ready to hold the space, and also continuing to work through the patterns of all of my own underworld stuff, with huge gratitude for each of you who I've connected with through all of this experience, to say, I can't, I can, holy shit, what? And move through all of that, which has been super uncomfortable. So in this moment, I am feeling super excited and grateful. And what we're putting together is literally going to be life-changing for the people that come. And also, it's been my dream for years to create the facility. It's basically been my dream to create the curriculum, not me alone, but in the community of care, connection, compassion, to actually support people through the transformation of self-image as we step into bigger versions of ourselves that are more healed and whole. And that has been something that I was trying to do when I was working for the John Maxwell team back in, since 2011, and in 2017 when I was a program facilitator with them. So it's like, and then when I was working for Movati as a membership coordinator for people coming into a gym, how to support people through, changing that. So it's just like everything that I've been working towards, dreaming of, and wanting in the lead up to the experience we're now co-creating is happening. And it's an organic unfoldment that requires me go through my own stuff in order to actually hold space for others to be able to then share from a place of lived experience. So I'm feeling settled in this moment with weeks of unsettled and also days of huge triggers, and all of it because of the activations that come from being willing to face the unknown in a new community that we are building. And I'm grateful that each of you and the others who are part of Camp Authenticity, as well as all the other camps as well. So that's my long answer.
Wonderful.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Yay. So to everyone who watches this part of a nearly 2-hour call, the benefit of coming to the Hub for Humankind May 17th to 19th is that you're going to get to meet us, as well as an amazing assembly of people who are willing to do the inner work, own our shit, move through it in community, and get stronger together, because we then have the lived experience of doing that which is required on the larger scale. And sometimes swearing happens and it's real. And so I'm okay with being the one to say the bad word, quote unquote. But it's also to say that if you don't get yourself in the room, you don't get to meet the people that could literally help you deal with stuff that you never had support dealing with previously, which in the last week, I was up at Soul's Path for various reasons. And in that process, I was working through a tremendous amount with some of the others who were also there to put together the Hub for Humankind and the planning and preparation and everything that goes into the behind the scenes. So if you want to see and hear from us who have been in it since all of this started, then May 17th to 19th, you're going to want to be in Blackstock at Soul's Path Retreats with us. And that's
And sooner or later, you're going to discover that when you deal with your shit, it really is great and it turns into beautiful compost.